Hello students, as I have told you that I will simultaneously start the chapter of periodicity in properties along with that numerical problems of the previous chapter. So I have come up with the first part of the periodicity in properties from class 11 syllabus. Okay, so in this chapter today I'll start with the historical background of periodic table. You know that periodicity in properties means the chapter of periodic table. So today I'll just start with the historical background. Although the historical background is there in your syllabus, but this part is not of much importance as questions do not come from this part. Okay, but still since it is there in your syllabus, I'll just give you a description of the short description you may say, or the important parts which are required for you to know from the historical background of periodic table. So let's start with it. Okay, so the first thing which I want to tell you that before, when the elements were discovered, there was no need of the periodic table. But why? Because there was just a few elements which were discovered. But as days passed by or as years passed by, the number of elements discovered was increasing constantly. And at that position, the chemists felt that whenever they are trying to make a new compound or whenever they are trying to synthesize a new compound, they need to just go to the description of the properties of the elements again and again. Means whatever compound they need to find out, they have to go to the historical background of that element. So it becomes very difficult for them for the synthesization of for the synthesis of new compounds. So it came into mind that if the elements were arranged, if the elements which have the similar properties were arranged in the form of a table, then just by looking into the table, they can just determine the properties of that element. Means the basic properties at least, which are mainly required for the formation of a compound. Like electronic configuration, number of shells, all these things. Okay. So at that time came Dobereiner's periodic table. It was not a periodic table, it was said as Dobereiner's law of triads. Okay, what does this states? It states that there will be a group of 3 elements. I am giving you an example of lithium, sodium and potassium. There will be a group of 3 elements, and the atomic weight of the middle element should be an average of the atomic weights of the elements on the either sides. Now see, the atomic weight of lithium is 7 and the atomic weight of potassium is 39. So approximately 39. So if I consider 37 plus 7 by 2 means average of these 2 atomic weights, then it will come 46 by 2, which is 23. We all know that the atomic weight of sodium is 23. So sodium is placed in between lithium and potassium. Okay. So this was Dobereiner's law of triads. This Dobereiner's law of triads was suitable for lighter elements, and it was valid for certain elements, up to certain lighter elements. But as soon as the form is increasing to heavier elements and the other elements of the which were discovered at that time, this law was unable to explain those parts. So this was a defect of Dobereiner's law of triads, and this became obsolete. After that came the law of telluric screw, which is not at all important for you all to know. So I am just keeping the law of telluric screw at this moment because it is not at all important and not at all significant law. After this comes Newland's law of octaves. See, Newland's law of octaves has certain significance. You can see just look at this. In the law of octaves, it is stated that the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights. The elements will be arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights. And the eighth element will have a similarity in property with the first element. See, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sodium is the eighth element. And it has similarity in properties with lithium, which was the first element. This is the law of octaves, that the elements will be arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights, and the eighth element will have similarity in properties with the first element. Now if I continue like this, if I continue like this, now just look at this. Here I have started from lithium. If I start from lithium, the eighth element will be sodium. Okay. Now see, if I start from fluorine, what will be the eighth element? Fluorine's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The eighth element will be chlorine. And fluorine and chlorine has similarity in properties. If I start from nitrogen, consider I am starting from nitrogen, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Phosphorus will be the eighth element. So, nitrogen and phosphorus has similarity in properties. This is the Newland's law of octaves. But here also it is found out that this law of octaves is suitable for lighter elements till calcium. As soon as we are going to the heavier elements, this law of octaves is not at all suitable. Okay? Okay. Next comes Lothar-Meyer's arrangement. In Lothar-Meyer's arrangement, it was found out that Lothar-Meyer has studied the various physical properties of the elements, and then he has made a plot of atomic volume versus atomic weight. Then in the curve, whatever curve he has obtained, he has found out that in the curve, the elements which have similar properties are present at similar positions. Means, if this was the position of lithium, then this will be the position of sodium also. Means, the elements which have similarity in properties are obtaining the similar positions on the curve. So, from here he has came to the conclusion that the physical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic weights. Okay, this was Lothar-Meyer's arrangement. I did not write his name before. Okay, So just listen to it. This is Lothar-Meyer's arrangement. Okay. After that comes Mendeleev. And Mendeleev's periodic table was the first ever formed periodic table. Please refer to your book for the Mendeleev's periodic table because it's inconvenient to draw the periodic table on a board. Okay, please refer to your book for the Mendeleev's periodic table. I will just explain the properties. Mendeleev's periodic table was the first ever made periodic table. Means in Mendeleev's periodic table there were rows. And the rows were known as periods. There were columns. And the columns were known as groups. He even had formed subgroups. Okay. So, this was Mendeleev's periodic table where the elements were arranged in the rows called periods and columns called groups. Okay, so in Mendeleev's periodic table, the elements were arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights. Here also atomic weights. Okay, so what was Mendeleev's periodic law? Mendeleev's periodic law was the physical and the chemical properties are the periodic functions of their atomic weights. So, in Mendeleev's periodic table also, the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights in definite rows called periods and definite columns called groups. Okay, this was Mendeleev's periodic table. See, I won't explain the features of Mendeleev's periodic table because those are not needed because I will clearly explain the features of your modern periodic table which is mainly there in your syllabus. The Mendeleev's periodic table, I will only explain the importance of the Mendeleev's periodic table and the defects of the Mendeleev's periodic table due to which the modern periodic law has been evolved. Okay, so I'll come to the importance of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, the first important point of Mendeleev's periodic table was systematic arrangement. Systematic arrangement. In Mendeleev's periodic table, the elements are arranged in the increasing order of the atomic weights in the rows and columns, that is in the periods, groups and subgroups also. So, just by looking into the periodic table, the properties of the elements can be easily found out. Means we don't have to just go into the details of the properties of the elements. Just by seeing the elements or just by finding the position of the elements in the Mendeleev's periodic table, we can easily just imagine that what will be the properties of the elements. So, this was the first systematic arrangement of the elements in the proper rows and columns. Okay, the next importance is prediction of new elements. Prediction of new elements. Now remember one thing, that Mendeleev has left two vacancies, means two vacant positions in group 3 and one vacant position in group 4. Means just after boron and aluminium, he has left two vacant positions, and in group 3, and in group 4 just after silicon, he has left one vacant position, and he has named he has predicted that there are two different elements. there can be two different elements in group 3 and one element in group 4 which has similarity in properties of group 3 elements and similarity in properties of group 4 elements respectively. So he has named these two positions as Eka boron and Eka aluminium, and the position after silicon as Eka silicon. Then soon after this, the elements here as well as here have been finally discovered. So here the elements have been discovered and they have been given the name. They have been given the name gallium, scandium for group 3 and germanium for group 4 after silicon. Okay, so he has predicted that there can be new elements in group 3 and group 4. So he has kept two vacant positions in group 3 and one vacant position in group 4 for the new elements that has to be discovered. And after the discovery of the new, means it is found out that really there are two different elements in group, elements which have similarity in properties of group 3 and one element which has similarity in property in group 4. So the elements after being named, they have been placed in the respective groups. He has also made the correction of doubtful atomic weights, like he has also made the correction of doubtful atomic weights. I'll give you an example of beryllium. Okay, beryllium had an equivalent weight of, by now you all know that what is equivalent weight. Beryllium has an equivalent weight of 4.5, and you also know that for finding the atomic weight from equivalent weight, we need to multiply the valency with the equivalent weight to find out the atomic weight. So equivalent weight of beryllium was found out as 4.5. He has seen that beryllium has similarity in properties with aluminium, and aluminium is of group 3. So aluminium being present in group 3 excuse me, has a valency of excuse me, has a valency of 3. So he has found out that atomic weight will be equivalent weight into valency. You all know this by now. So equivalent weight was 4.5 and valency is 3. So it was obtained as 13.5 as the atomic weight of beryllium. So if the atomic weight of beryllium was 13.5, we all know that carbon has an atomic weight of 12 and nitrogen has an atomic weight of 14. So if the atomic weight of beryllium was 13.5, then beryllium has to be given a position in between carbon and nitrogen. Okay, because it is 13.5, carbon is 12 and nitrogen is 14. So if the atomic weight of beryllium was 13.5, then beryllium has to be given a position in between carbon and nitrogen. But it is then he found out that beryllium has more similarity in properties with magnesium than aluminium. He found out that beryllium has more similarity in properties with magnesium, calcium as compared to that of aluminium. So he has corrected the valency of beryllium. This was wrong. He has corrected the valency of beryllium and found out the valency of beryllium as 2. And so the atomic weight became 4.5 into 2, which is 9. And so beryllium was placed. Lithium has 9 and beryllium was placed. Sorry, lithium was 7, beryllium, and after that boron. Okay, so beryllium was placed in between lithium and boron. So he has made the correction of doubtful atomic weights also. So these are the importance of Mendeleev's periodic table. Now I'll come to a very important part, you can say the most important part of today's video, the defects of Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev's periodic table, you can say the first periodic table which has given you a systematic arrangement. But there are many defects of Mendeleev's periodic table which has made the evolution of the modern periodic law or the modern or long periodic table. So let's come to the defects of Mendeleev's periodic table. Defects. The first defect is anomalous behavior, or you can say anomaly. Okay. Now, what does this means? This means that it is found out, means we all know that the atomic weight of argon and potassium. The atomic weight of argon is 39 something like that. Or you can say, oh no, it's it is 39.94, and that of potassium is 39.1. So see, you can see that argon has a greater atomic weight as compared to that of potassium. In his periodic table, he has stated that the elements were arranged in the increasing order of their atomic weights. But argon is the last element of period 3, whereas potassium is the first element of period 4. So potassium has a higher serial number as compared to that of argon, but argon has a greater atomic weight as compared to that of potassium. Means it is clearly visible that he has laid more emphasis on the similarity in properties. Since argon is a noble gas, so it has to be placed in group 18 only along with the other noble gases. So he has violated the increase in the atomic weight by giving importance to the similarity in properties of elements. So here lies a disparity. Also I can give you another example of cobalt and nickel. Cobalt and nickel. Cobalt has an atomic weight of 58.94 and nickel has an atomic weight of 58.69. But cobalt is placed before nickel in the periodic table. Means first is cobalt and after that is nickel in Mendeleev's periodic table. So here also there becomes an anomaly or disparity in the periodicity. Okay. Another important disparity is the prediction of position of hydrogen. Where will be hydrogen given positioned? See, hydrogen has similarity in properties with alkali metals. How it is similar to the alkali metals? It is univalent. It is electropositive. Okay, it has affinity towards non-metals. It is reactive. So it has so many properties which can say that hydrogen can be placed along with the alkali metals. But on the other side, hydrogen has similarity in properties with halogens also. How? It is diatomic, non-metallic, gaseous at room temperature, reacts with metals to form hydrides. So, hydrogen has similarity in properties with alkali metals, as well as hydrogen has similarity in properties with halogens. So, where will be hydrogen placed? So, there is a problem in the position of hydrogen, which was not cleared in Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay? Okay. Now I'll come to the second point. Second point is also an important point, which is that similar elements are placed in different groups and dissimilar elements are placed in the same groups. Similar elements in different groups and vice versa. Means similar elements are placed in different groups and dissimilar elements are placed in the same group. Like, I'll give you an example. Like copper and mercury. Copper and mercury have similarity in properties, but copper is placed in group 1b, whereas mercury is placed in group 2a. Sorry, 2b. Very sorry, okay? 2b. So copper was placed in group 1b and mercury was placed in 2b. But both of them have similarity in properties. Another major example is that lithium, potassium, sodium, they are the highly reactive alkali metals, means very reactive metals, and in the Mendeleev's periodic table, in group 1, they are being grouped with the least reactive copper, gold and silver. Copper, gold and silver are almost inactive or unreactive, and these are the highly reactive alkali metals, but they are being grouped along with the coinage. These are known as coinage elements. Okay, they are being grouped along with these coinage elements in Mendeleev's periodic table in group 1. So these are the examples. After that, the third important point is that group 8 elements are not given proper positions. Group 8 elements are not given proper positions. There are 9 elements in group 8 which are not given proper positions. So, lack of positions of group 8 elements. Just look into the periodic table of Mendeleev given in your book. You will understand very well that how the group 8 elements are grouped. They are grouped as a group of triads like this. Iron, cobalt, nickel are kept in the 4th period. Ruthenium, rhodium and lead. Ruthenium, rhodium and lead are grouped as a triad in the 5th period, and osmium, iridium and platinum, these 3 are grouped as triads and placed in 6th period. So these 9 elements of group 8 are not given proper positions. They are just grouped as a triad in 4th, 5th and 6th periods. Okay. The last 2 points are also very important. One is that the lanthanoids and actinoids are not given suitable positions. No suitable positions for lanthanoids and actinoids. You can see in the periodic table that lanthanoids and actinoids are not given proper positions. They are just placed at the bottom of the periodic table as 2 different groups. Just like the bottom of the periodic table has 2 different rows. Okay, they are not given proper positions in the periodic table. And the 5th point is the position of isotopes. See, in Mendeleev's periodic table, it is said that the elements are arranged in the increasing order of the atomic weights. But you all know that the isotopes of a single element has different atomic weights. Then the isotopes of an element has to be arranged in the increasing order of the atomic weights only. But in Mendeleev's periodic table, all the isotopes of a particular element are given the same position, which is completely contradictory. Okay, so for these defects, the Mendeleev's periodic table became obsolete, and after that there is a rectification or modification of the Mendeleev's periodic table to form the modern periodic table. The rectification is of great importance, that it is found out that instead of taking atomic weights as the periodic function, it is found out atomic numbers has to be given the priority. Means the elements has to be arranged in the increasing order of the atomic numbers for proper explanation of the position of the elements. So the modern periodic table states that, or you can say the modern periodic law states that the elements has to be arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. Okay, if the elements are arranged in the increasing of their atomic numbers, there will not be any problem with the position of argon and potassium, because argon's atomic number is less than that of potassium. There will not be any problem with the position of isotopes, because an element all the isotopes has the same atomic number, so they can be placed at the same position. And in the modern periodic table, the lanthanoids and actinoids are tried to given, means they are given importance, means they have been placed in the periodic table in a proper way. They have been given importance. Okay, and here the similar elements in different groups and the dissimilar elements in same groups. This problem is also solved in the modern periodic table, because the modern periodic table depends on atomic numbers, and atomic numbers means electronic configuration. Atomic number means electronic configuration. When the elements are arranged on the basis of electronic configuration, these group 8 elements are also properly arranged, and there is no problem with the similar elements having different groups. No, all these problems have been rectified in the modern periodic table. Though the modern periodic table has certain flaws, there are flaws in the modern periodic table regarding the lanthanoids and actinoids. That I will come to you after I will explain to you the modern periodic table. But still, that periodic table is much more modified form of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so this is about the historical background of periodic table. In the next video, I will come with the what is periodicity in properties, and then I will start with the modern periodic table, that how the elements are arranged there. Thank you.